All right, a very good afternoon. It's just gone 1500 hours Central African time. We're going to take you straight to this. As promised earlier, officials from the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs in KwaZulu-Natal are briefing members of the media, or will do so shortly, following the heavy rains as well as flooding in KZN. Let's take you live there.
To the families that have lost their loved ones, the place where we're at in Lamontville, you can see for yourself, even those who survived this terrible disaster, they are still highly exposed. This area, as we can see over the last few weeks and the last few days, is highly prone to heavy rainfall. Therefore, as provincial government, we will ensure that we consolidate all our efforts. As you can see, the various MECs who are here, so that in the short term, we can provide an alternative shelter to the families, but in the long term, we must look at where do we settle our people so that they are not exposed to these constant disasters. We can see the province of KwaZulu-Natal now and again, we are burying our loved ones, because if it's not a fire, it's the floods. If it's not the floods, it's the snow. Therefore, the issue of building climate change resilient infrastructure comes into play. But we are here to offer support, and we will ensure that we do all in our power to try and recover the one body that has not been found from the Kabashe family. Thank you
so much, MEC. Then Honorable Mayor, on your side.
No, colleagues, thank you very much. And let me thank Councillor Mthembu Zondi, is the ward councillor who alerted our disaster management structures to this unfortunate incident. I also want to thank the MECs who came to support the family, and also to give the city support as it faces yet another incident in a space of about a week. As you recall, that was it last week, Wednesday, Thursday, where the similar incident on this side of Durban, and we are told that there was a time in a space of about an hour where the rain dropped 98 millimeters of water in a space of about an hour, and we were shown the river which swell, and that river is clear. You could see that it got widened over time, and so the drainage got blocked by the rapids, and then the water levels rose to the level of the road, and then overlap and onto the properties that they are. And we're really saddened by the situation, and it's a situation that we would not wish for anybody. It's one death too many, but we have assured the families that will be with them until the day when they bury their loved ones. The MEC for Kokta has mentioned that the most immediate thing now is to evacuate these people who are here. The number is about 270 people who would need to be evacuated with immediate effect, and there are things that the province, both MECs have items that are giving to the families, at least to ensure that at least during this period of bereavement, they are able to cope with the situation. That's a situation as it is. I think we can't emphasize it enough that we now, when we get news about serious the changes in weather conditions, that we must always listen and then start to take the necessary measures. So that's the situation we are at, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, any questions or any inputs, colleagues? Okay, I see you, Dasan. Jade, I see you, sir. Anyone else, colleagues? Okay, let's start off. Jade, do come in.
I've got two questions for the MEC of Obviously, eThekwini has a drainage problem. Infrastructure has been an issue for the longest time. Every time we have a flood, we see similar scenes happening across eThekwini Metro and also KwaZulu-Natal. If we hone in on what's currently happening, what is going to be done to tackle our drainage system? The second question is, these people have been moved here from another area. They were flooded before. Temporary structures simply seem not to be working. What is government going to be doing to find suitable land to house them?
Okay. Move on to Dasan as well. Due to time, Dasan, on your side.
MCs and Mayor, thank you so much for the update. I think it's follow on from that question around the location or the relocation of this community here. I think my question is simple: who put them here? Because if you look at this area, I mean, we always are getting warnings from the municipality about people not building or should not be building on the floodplain. But looking at the danger that they encountered here, it means that they were on a floodplain. So what assessment was done before they were placed here? Because it looks like they were put into the path of danger. And the second is, when we were interviewing the community here in the morning, one of the claims that they made was that they had flagged this issue, the blockage from there, which caused the water to come up, but they claim it wasn't intended to, timeously resulting in this. So I just want to get an understanding of the responsibility that lies with those issues. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dasan. Sakiseni? Okay, you're sorted. Okay, colleagues, anyone else? Okay, I will allow then.
Okay. No, thank you very much. And the councillor said this area was not prone to such situation. Councillor, it's happening for the first time that we are experiencing this flooding to this level. So this area was safe until just this floods. So there was nothing that was suggesting that this area will ever be flooded. And it's such an unfortunate situation. And you can see that this thing happens even in the well-established areas that never experienced any mudslide before, as you have seen it in the 2022 slides, which therefore means to me that no area now is safe. And all what we need to do is to be careful in the way we do things. I think there was a question about the stormwater blockages. And I mean, yesterday, when we were here on Friday, we were told about yet another storm damage. You know, so these floods keep damaging our own infrastructure. So I must admit that it puts us behind, in terms of our own program, because you can't plan for it. You deal with this one and then you get another one, and once you are attending to it and you get another one. So that's a situation we are faced with. It means that we must brace ourselves to it, that we will have this situation happening. But let me add this. The areas are visited at least, and the flooding has not been because of blockage, storm water blockage, and it's because it affected people who build in places that are not planned. We went to this other area, was it in the Komakuta, in the Adams area, in the Ntsimberi area, and it's not planned. And it was easy. People built on areas that really, when you look at it, say, hey, if anything happens there, these communities are going to be flooded. So I think our message is to Amakosi, Izinduna, that when they allocate people, now they must consider the fact that the situation has changed, that even areas that were resilient in the past now are going to be affected. So I think that's a message we can convey at this time. But I can then hand over to the MEC for transporting. human settlements.
Very true, both Jason and Jade, that you've had similar incidents. I'm sure you know by now the issue of Nkanku roads, the issue of Shell Cross currently of identifying a land that is going to be utilized. At Tegwini, the circumference does not allow us that we could build anywhere, which is why at this point in time that we want to move people, not affluent area, urban area, around Amakosi area, where we must identify a proper land, even if it means it's an hinterland, so that you could build proper structures. We are no longer called housing for a purpose, that it must be human settlements. Recreational activities, schools, clinics must be also in that area. It's the reality that around Ward 74, unfortunately there is Umlazi River just behind us, which has a dam, which has a Shongweni Dam, and Mayor has already tried and expatiate. It is no longer like in the past. We just have to address two matters: the issue of adaptation, the type of material that we must procure must be resistant enough, as the New York resolution, as you know. I think that's what we must highlight. But unfortunately, when at Tegwini, even other roads like Ulamonville, Umlazi Township, Chesterville, oldest township in the Tegwini area, it means that historical, you didn't have all these types of disasters. When they were designing the engineering of that time, there was no spluma allocation. At that time when they were designing, you'll find that they will identify 100mm pipe, which was adequate at this point in time. Later on, because of the influx of our people, even informal settlements, it means that there's going to be more demand for a system. So that is why we are suggesting that as from now onward, let us do a proper hydraulic test for each and every area, so that we take a stock, and ensuring when we even issue a tender, a bill of quantity must just suggest whether 3 pipes, big enough like 900 or 1.2. I think that is the solution. Unfortunately for us, Jason, I think I must be clear. These people in this area, you'll find that because of a scarcity of resources, I'm sure it's another thing, it's a matter of police sharing, that when we have evacuated, when we have built new houses, let us ensure that we just evacuate a system of a plan where no one is going to build, because you'll identify an area, people will be taken, like for instance the issue of Konopia, you'll find that at some point in time we thought in the era of Kwamash we won't have these informal settlements. People who went to Konopia, they left their home behind in an informal way, and they were still renting. So it's something that we must talk as a bylaw, as a police, but unfortunately because of scarcity of resources and land, our people will be subjected to areas like this, waterlogged, river frontage and wetlands. Those issues are something that are still going to bother us because of a backlog. It's the reality. Human settlements might be planning in terms of finance. In the last few years, we've just lost 2.8 billion as a matter of cross-cutting measures. So it's something that we take into cognizance, and we are clinical when it comes to disaster funding, how it must be utilized, which is why the minister is coming next week. Unfortunately, it's going to come with a material, Jade. The minister is going to come with a material, but it's for temporal usage. It's not for permanent cause. So when we build in a permanent cause, the area will be identified and the area will be suitable for our people. For now, we want to issue our condolences to those who have lost their loved ones, and government is here as a caring government just to assist them, juxtaposed with the reality that the rains are still here, and we just have to make sure that the ward councillors of our area must be vigilant and must be able to assist those people and the business at large. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. MEC for Kokta.
I think I've covered it.
Colleagues, any more questions? Last round of questions? Okay. Okay, so Sakiseni come in, sir?
Sakiseni from 24. I think my question is still pull up from what Jason asked. I understand that the mayor mentioned that from what they heard from the ward councillor, this area has not been issued. But was there any proper inspection done to the area to check if maybe it's suitable for people to live in? And also, what's going to happen with these structures now if people are going to be moved? What's going to happen with these structures that are already in this area? Are they going to be demolished while people are being moved to another area? What's the plan regarding there?
No, what we can say is that now, with the benefit of hindsight, right, this area is not suitable. You know, hindsight is a teacher, so sometimes. But all along, we never entertained any fear, because this area survived the 2022. Well, I think they were relocated here after the 2022 floods, but people were still staying around here and there was no problem. I must indicate that our problem as a city, we don't have enough land. In fact, not enough land, we don't have land. Yet we have over 500 informal settlements. These are people that need to be relocated and to places. But once we experience that problem of land shortage, even if we identify land in some of the areas, there is this what is called a not in my backyard syndrome. You know, with human settlements, we have identified a few sites there to relocate people, but the communities there are up in arms. They're saying, why are you bringing these people into our surrounding, into our neighborhood? That is a problem. I think the more we talk about this, the better, because, as you know, people come into the city, looking for better opportunities, and you can't chase them away. So we have to contend with the situation and deal with it. And of course, now we've got to find. I don't know where we'd find suitable land, because the land now that is not available, the land that is available is land that is obvious is less developable. That is the problem we are faced with. But of course, with you, and you will keep giving us some ideas, and we'll appreciate the ideas, because we want to plan better. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Colleagues, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to come out of those live proceedings there. That's the media briefing as the KZN officials brief the media, of course, following the floods in the area. Reverend Thulasizwe Buthelezi, the Kokta KZN MEC, alongside Siboniso Uduma, Transport and Human Settlements MEC, they just taking members of the media through what are some of the current efforts that are currently being done by the department to assist some of those that have been heavily affected by the floods.